Hey everyone, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of my orchid adventure with who else but me, Maria Young. So if you guys remember the last video that I did, I actually participated in that 60-second challenge. That's right, it was a 60-second challenge to try to incorporate your entire collection within that 60 seconds of allotted time. Oh my gosh, that was so hard to do. Outrageously hard. But you know what? There were so many people that participated, and I have to give 2 green thumbs up on all that did, because they did quite a fabulous job showcasing their entire collection. And indeed, it gave us a deeper insight on what type of grower they are and the types of orchids that they have. So great, fabulous idea. Of course, coming from Mr. William Green of My Green Pets. So also want to thank you for putting that all together. Such a fabulous idea. And also want to thank the many participants that did do that video. Oh my gosh, you guys are like total rock stars, and you did a fabulous job, and I loved each and every one of them. Now, I do have to admit, I was so surprised at how many of you guys did take notice and recognize just how fabulous my orchid tree is. Because not only does it house my beautiful orchids outdoors, but it does give off her own beautiful, stunning showcasing. And many of you guys did want to know exactly what she is. So today I'm going to talk to you all about her and share with you the many facts of what this orchid tree is really about. And the scientific name of this tree is Atybibuia christotricha. Indeed, such a complicated name for this tree, but one thing that I can assure you that is not complicated at all is how beautiful and stunning and striking her blooms are. She does bloom twice a year, in the spring and also in the autumn, where she will lose all of her leaves, and in place of those leaves are nothing but gorgeous trumpet-shaped, very fluorescent, very yellow striking blooms that I can guarantee you can see from miles away. And because her blooms are so striking, she does cause quite a stir within my neighborhood. I cannot tell you how many cars I have seen literally stop, get out of their car, and take pictures of this tree. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times I have literally caught people stealing seed pods from this tree. And as of recently, oh my gosh, this lady literally walked up to my tree and took a big old branch from her. But you know what, folks? I really can't blame them, because she is so beautiful and so striking. All they want is a beautiful piece of this blooming heaven. And one thing that I do love about this tree is the simple fact that it is so easy to propagate by simply just cutting off a pretty big portion of the branch. Also, you can collect the many seeds, like a gazillion of seeds that it does produce within the seed pod. And I have to tell you, this tree actually grows pretty fast. If you take a big branch and you plant it, it can start blooming for you within about 3 to 4 years. So indeed, it is quite a fast maturing tree. And also, I have to also tell you that the seeds actually grow like wildfire within my garden. I find myself every season having to simply pluck out all of the sproutlets from my garden. That's how easy it is to grow. Now, I do want to share with you a very inspiring story, because of the simple fact that I am so appreciative and so inspired by this tree. It has done so much for me, and also so much for my orchids. Because of it being here, it has allowed me to grow and have a paradise of an orchid garden. And indeed, I am just so thankful. Now, when I did get this tree, I have to admit she was so teeny weeny tiny. because my mother had actually broken off a piece of her original tree and put it in a pot, and indeed she was growing quite well, and she gave it to me. Now when we moved in this house about 11 years ago, I did plant it in my garden, and she just took a root and just loved where she was at, and she just grew wild. So indeed I was very happy for that. But then unfortunately a hurricane had passed through here and knocked her completely down. I mean totally taking her out of the ground and uprooting her. So that was a very unfortunate thing that happened to her, and because she was so heavy and uprooted, I didn't believe that she was going to survive, so I kind of left her at her own demise. Well, needless to say, about like 3 months later, oh my gosh, I could not believe she had started, even though she was laying on her side, growing all of these branches, indeed trying to survive. That no matter what she had gone through and endured, she still had a purpose in her life, and she still pressed on and pushed forth and gave it all that she had, because she took her circumstances and she made the most of the current situation she was in. And instead of giving in and giving up, no, she was a warrior, a fighter, and she was gonna fight until she could survive. Even if it meant laying on her side, she was gonna survive no matter what happened to her, even with her new way of life. So indeed, when I seen her, I felt so sorry for her. I could not believe, after all that she had gone through, she still was persisting to survive. And because I felt so sorry for her, I had to find a way to get her planted back up and to get her propped up where she could grow again properly. Well, when I did prop her back up, I have to tell you, oh my gosh, an explosive growth came from her, because not only was she growing with her original trunk, but now all of those trees were coming from every direction, and now she doubled up. And as you can see, because she did not give up no matter what her circumstance looked like, here she is today, growing so tremendous and becoming such a beautiful example of how we should all live, no matter what we go through, no matter what it looks like. If you have a bigger vision and you have that faith to continue to thrive, to survive, to grow, to flourish, indeed, you can. It is all about what you have inside. If you believe that this is it and that's all for you, well, guess what? You're absolutely right. That is it, and that is all for you. But if you have that bigger vision, that bigger purpose, and you strive for it, indeed, you are absolutely right. Not only will you grow and flourish, but you will bloom so beautifully again into something so tremendous. And I do hope, because this tree has inspired me, I hope that you too are inspired by her. I thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of My Orchid Adventure with you-know-who, me, Maria Young. And if you guys like this video, which I hope you did, please give it a green thumbs up. And of course, if you want to stay tuned to all of my adventures, please be sure to subscribe. Now, you guys can also come and journey with me on Facebook, because I have a whole lot of adventures on there as well. And that is at My Orchid Adventures right on Facebook. Thank you guys so much. And you guys already know I do love you guys all. Mwah, 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 and mwah. Can't jump there, but mwah.